Albert Breer came out earlier today in his mailbag and said one of the big questions on whatever essays the Browns were handing out to potential head coaches is
the thing that they had 6 questions, right? 6 questions,
and one of them was how do you make Shadore better? Like what would you do with Shadore? Basically, we also have people saying, well, this guy Todd Monken likes a more mobile quarterback. That's got to be good for Deshaun Watson.
Yeah, it's interesting. Because he's got such a wide variety of quarterbacks that he's helped. I'm kind of convinced he can help anybody.
I agree. What I think is interesting is the offense that is best suited for Shadore is not necessarily the offense that is best suited for Deshaun.
Well, and so I want to know, how is he going to balance this out, right? Is he going to put, and we'll find this out very early on, I would imagine. Maybe it takes us a little bit longer. Actually, I shouldn't speak that way. Like, who is he spending the most time with? Who is he going to pay the most attention to? And then is he looking at Deshaun as a reclamation project, or is he looking at Deshaun as somebody that week 1 we can do this right away?
I can tell you, with the Monken hire, I'm more inclined to be open to seeing Deshaun Watson on the field this year.
Because you have trust that Monken will get it right?
No, it's just different. I had no faith in the end that Kevin Stefanski knew what to do with Deshaun Watson and vice versa. I think that relationship itself was the sunk cost.
Mm-hmm.
So now you've got a coach that has worked with multiple different styles of quarterbacks. I still think Deshaun is physically flawed. I don't know the guy can throw the freaking football because we seem to forget after the Achilles, the shoulder
injury
is a significant concern.
It was a baseball injury, remember? It's fine. It's a baseball injury. We talked to all these baseball players about it.
We still don't know whether he has a fastball anymore.
Yeah.
But at the same point, I'm interested to see Todd Monken work with him.
Well,
that's at least okay. It's not the same recipe that you failed with 3 times before.
The advice I would give him, though, is that he's too injured of a player to take seriously and to keep moving forward with. And so, like, if you're going to split up reps or you're going to try to decide which one, and we'll have a camp battle, and I don't know if the camp battle will be between Shadore and Deshaun, and an unnamed player. I'm not sure, but there's going to be a focus on somebody there, and I wish the focus would go to Shadore instead of Deshaun.
I think that makes sense. I'm probably more comfortable with that as well. Like, I am genuinely excited to see if Todd Monken sees anything in Shadore. I think because again, like, it was apparent that Kevin was sledding uphill when it came to his relationship with Shadore. I just don't think he. Mm-hmm. And I don't think it was about the physical talent. I think there was some disconnect in how Shadore conducts his business and how Kevin wants his quarterback to conduct business. I don't think we're going to have that with Todd Monken. If you look at Lamar, if you look at Jameis, if you look at all the quarterbacks he's had, they're not just different styles, they're different personalities. Mm-hmm. I think that bodes well for both Deshaun and Shadore. And so, again, like, I at least have curiosity with this quarterback room that I didn't have if Kevin Stefanski is getting year 7.
Well, and so I told you before that I thought the selling point if you're Deshaun Watson, and you need to scream this from the mountaintops, would be the idea that Stefanski was the idiot the entire time. Mm-hmm. Like, Stefanski was the one that didn't know what he was doing. It was all Stefanski's fault. He was the problem. He didn't know how to run an offense, all these type of things. And so then you get your next opportunity, and if it is with someone like Monken and then you look good, people will reflectively go back to, I guess Kevin just didn't know what he was doing.
Yeah.
He had 13 quarterbacks here, didn't know how to get any one of them really right to begin with. Maybe it was a Stefanski problem.
Now, when Mary Kay joined the Morning Boys earlier today, she talked about why Todd Monken was hired.
They needed to fix the offensive side of the ball. And what they got with this hire was the most qualified offensive guy that they were going to be able to get in the situation that they're in right now to come in here and try to transform this offense. When you look at some of the other candidates, and especially right now with what's happening with Jim, let's say that you hired Nate Fieldhouse and he's never called a play and he's been in the NFL for 2 years and he's never been a coordinator. Who do you think would be better equipped to handle your defensive coordinator walking out the door? A Nate Fieldhouse? Or a guy with 37 years experience in Todd Monken, who's seen it all, who's been through it all. I don't think this will faze Todd. I think he'll be able to overcome it. And once again, I think when you look at the offensive candidates that they interviewed, he was the most qualified for the ones that were still in it.
I don't disagree with that last line. And I think it's something that, and when we get into qualifications, it's what have you done in the NFL? And this is no disrespect to Nate Fieldhouse. 3 years from now, he might be a guy that you can really sell as a head coach. It might not even be that long given how the NFL works. Udinski, the same thing. Todd Monken has been an assistant in the NFL, or has over a decade's experience in the NFL. Half of it as a play caller. He's done it with multiple different head coaches, and he has a wealth of success as a play caller and as an offensive coordinator in college, and roughly 30-plus years of experience. It's interesting the amount of trust that he walks in with, because he's just done it for so long and with so many different places.
Yeah, I mean, the been there, done that, got the T-shirt. This is the example of that. The guy is he's lived 7 different football lives. But that's what makes me so intrigued by him, because I really think the NFL world, the more and more we've talked about it, I've just dialed into the idea that the NFL world they just don't like his personality. They just think he's grumpy. They just think he's basically a Larry David of football, and that's fine. I can live with that. If we got you on a discount because the world perceives you to be, I don't know, an angry 60-year-old male, okay, fine. There's a lot of talent there.
Yeah, and I just look at it like this. If you had said, what's the percentage chance Deshaun ever does anything interesting again on a football field in like a big picture generalized thing? 3%, 1%, I don't know. You add to it a quarterback that's worked with a lot of different quarterbacks, or a head coach that's worked with a lot of different quarterbacks, and all of a sudden, okay, 10%.
Okay, but will Browns fans perceive it this way? Like, I'm curious to find out. Like, the people that, almost threatened to not be a Browns fan anymore after the Deshaun Watson trade, the people that have been livid about Deshaun for years now, years on years, will they give him that fresh look that you appear to be giving him? Or are they going to just be like, why are we even talking about Deshaun?
I'm sure there will be people that say, why are we talking about Deshaun? At which point, and I think it'll be an overwhelming amount of people, at which point you have to say, well, it's probably about $45 million, and
it's expensive.
And just the fact that he's going to be there. Like, you kind of, because of the Achilles injury and when it happened and the re-tear, you could kind of hide him on IR for a year. I don't think his representation or the NFLPA will allow you to do that for 2 straight years.
No, but I am curious to find out what kind of serious running he's getting, because Mary Kay's been telling us for a while that he's being taken serious in this entire process.
I mean, you don't have a choice. Like, guys, I saw, I think it was Pro Football Network did their top 100, and they had Malik Willis at the 22nd ranked free agent this offseason, which is insane. He's had 155 pass appearances, pass attempts in his NFL career. I'm sorry, depending on the amount of money you want to give him, I'd rather probably roll with the guys you have, even if I think Malik Willis, we might have the guy that can build an offense around what Malik Willis does.
Well, and think about some of the names we've heard today. Even I'm just talking about today, right? In Pittsburgh, people have spent all day talking about if McCarthy doesn't want to bring back Rodgers, he apparently is infatuated with Kyler Murray. There's multiple reports from The Athletic suggesting that the Falcons are expected to release Kirk Cousins. It's an ongoing thing where we just are constantly just putting new names back into the mix, and teams are becoming infatuated with new names, and it's just the constant evolution of the quarterback discussion.
And I think as of right now, with the Browns quarterback room, all right, there's 3 guys there that I think have some claim to be in the NFL. So if Monken wants to give Deshaun the first crack at it in camp, I don't really have a problem with that. And if Monken was the guy that in Baltimore, remember that was a team that wanted to draft Shadore on the 3rd day of the draft, and then Shadore said, please don't.
They also recruited him while he was at Georgia.
So
they wanted Shadore to go to Georgia, apparently.
Todd, if he sees something in Shadore, I think we should have an open mind, just because of the wealth of experience that he has in the NFL and in college. I hope that the quarterback room isn't just Shadore, Deshaun, and Dylan Gabriel. But if it's Shadore, Deshaun, and then like a Carson Beck in the 2nd or 3rd round, all right, for 1 year.
And that seems likely to me, by the way.
The Carson Beck part of it?
Yeah.
Me too. Because he's going to know the system. He knows the coach. I think Max making the fart face.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily
Carson Beck.
It's not necessarily Carson Beck, but it's going to be someone in that 2nd, 3rd round area, someone that you can then go ahead and have a conversation with.
I know it's going to be later, but it's just I'm not a Carson Beck fan.
Yeah, I'm not a Ty Simpson fan.